Well, hello. Today is Saturday, October 17th. I had to think for a minute. Yep, 17th. And we're going to do our weekly highlight meeting, which is the truth about willpower. Oh, my birdie's in my way. Let me get that out of the way. Sorry about that. We'll start off with how I did. We always start off with how I did for the previous week, so let's take a look. My goal each week is to lose a pound, but I've come to the conclusion that I can't lose a pound. Not that I can't, but my body's not willing to give me a whole pound each week. But this is the second week in a row that I've lost 0.8, and I'm very happy with it. I really am. I had a birthday party. My son and my husband, we did their birthdays together last Sunday, and we had cupcakes and brownies. We had a full meal. It was like a lot, but that was last week. This is this week. We're moving on. I lost 0.8. If I can lose a pound or less each week, I'm fine with that. So I weighed in this morning. I weighed 210.8. Like I said, it was a 0.8 loss, and it's a total loss of 93.4 pounds. I started on December 31st, 2016, so my 4-year anniversary is coming up. I'm very proud of my accomplishments. It's taken me a long time, but I'm 70 years old. Things move a little bit slower. That doesn't mean they can't move. I was one of those ones that said, you know what, I'm too old. My body's metabolism is too slow. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it. And then I joined Weight Watchers and saw, you know what, you're never too old. You never, never, never are too old. Granted, I'm not going to go as fast as somebody that's in their 30s and 40s, even their 50s, but I'm chugging along. And I'm going to get there. I have a long way to go to my goal. Weight Watchers and my doctor both say 160. I'd feel comfortable at about 175. We'll see how it goes once I get to that point. It's still a little ways away. That's what, 25, 35, about 35 more pounds. I can do it. I know I can do it. And I'll do it with willpower, because that's the truth about willpower. Picture this. There are Friday pizza night leftovers you want to avoid. Sure, you could use willpower to resist it, but after a while, that's going to get tough and exhausting. You know why? Because studies show that over time, our willpower can become depleted, making healthier decisions more challenging. Like I said, I've been on this for almost 4 years. When I first started, I had more weight to lose, and so granted, just cutting out my favorite foods, I lost my weight really quick, so it was easy to have willpower. It was so easy to have willpower because I could avoid something and I would see a result on the scale that would satisfy me, and I'd be so happy about it. And so willpower was not an issue because I thought, what's there to have? I can do this. But then the closer I get to my goal, the less calories my body needs to consume. And the older I get, my metabolism slows down that much more. It does make it a little bit more difficult. It does make it a little bit harder to have willpower. And I just know that, I know I can do it. I just know weekends are my challenge. I can go perfect Monday through Friday, making up for my lost weekends, as I call them, because I don't have very much willpower on the weekends. I can't explain it. I've been retired since 2013, so it's not the mentality, well, finally I have a weekend off. Every day is like a weekend for me. I don't, I can't explain it. I really just can't explain it, other than the fact that it's because I stay so strict Monday through Friday that I come Saturday and Sunday, I think I need to reward myself. Whereas if I would just be not perfect, if I would have more willpower on Saturday and Sunday, that I could have the occasional snack or treat or whatever during the week and not feel so much guilt. I know we hate to say that word, but guilt that I'm going off track and eating something that I really shouldn't eat. Sorry, it's allergies. It's just when the leaves and the grass, Jim's cutting the grass right now, and it's just my allergies kind of kick in. That's why my voice sounds so raspy. It's early in the morning too. My voice is always raspy in the morning. But it's just, it's hard sometimes to do that. And we need to stop thinking of food as good food and bad food. There's really no such thing as good food and bad food. I know that healthy food, you can say healthy food and unhealthy food. That would make more sense. But I will never consider a donut bad food. Unhealthy? Yeah, unhealthy. You know, if you're really honest about it, it is unhealthy. But I would put that in the category of good food because I love good, but I wouldn't consider it healthy. That's my point. So we got to, readjust our willpower and our thinking about how we approach food. I know they say like Friday night pizza leftovers. I have the advantage that Fridays, since I weigh in on Saturdays, I don't go crazy on Fridays. Fridays I'm really, really, watching what I'm going to eat. And even before, when I was attending the meetings, I never went out to eat on a Friday, or when I was going to restaurants rather, I never ate out on a Friday night. It's just because of the sodium gain and everything. It would throw me off psychologically. You have to know what's going to throw you off psychologically too. If that's going to throw you off and deplete your willpower, then don't do it. Just, avoid it. But they give us 4 guidelines that we can follow, and let's go over the 4 guidelines. The number 1 they ask you to do is create guidelines. Deciding in advance how you act in specific situations means you won't need to spend energy considering other options. Plan to eat a fruit or veggie with every meal, or take a route home that doesn't pass the bakery. Make sure it's truly doable. Mine is getting past the bakery at the grocery store. I was doing online shopping, but now I'm back in the store wearing my mask, and I always rewarded myself with a donut every time I went shopping. Because you go into the store and they have it set up in such a way that, you go in, there's all the healthy foods when you first walk in the door. So they really are trying to entice you to eat healthy. Because when I walk into my Kroger's, it's the fruit and vegetable department. So you have your choices there. But once you leave that happy zone, you're into the bakery zone. And you're walking in and you're not smelling apples and oranges and berries, and you're smelling donuts and bread and cookies. That's what you're smelling when you first walk in the door. So you have to have the willpower to know, I'm going to load up my basket here first with all of these healthy foods. And then once I get all these healthy foods in my basket and I go into the next step, which is the bakery, I'm going to realize I got all this healthy food. Do I need all this other stuff? I really don't. Another thing you might like to do is if you're going to go to a party or something and you know that your willpower is going to be tempted with the chips and the dip and things like that, bring a vegetable platter with a low point dip. I know I always say this. People always say, I don't want to bring a vegetable dip. People always say, I thought you were on a diet, all of that. If you ever go to a party, what do you always notice is the first thing to go, other than, why the chips? You know what? I can honestly say that even with my family, when we're all overweight, the vegetable platter seems to be the first one that you don't have to worry about putting in a bag to take home. You're going to be putting some of the chips and the popcorn and things like that back into the bags. But very rarely are there going to be vegetables left on a tray. People don't like to admit it, but they do like eating raw vegetables. Number 2 is modify your environment. Sights, sounds, and smells can impact your actions, so set up your space to minimize decision making. If leaving cookies in a jar on your counter has you constantly debating whether to eat them, move them to a harder to reach cabinet. Now, if you can see on my counter, I have my pretzel rods, and then I have some dried fruit, which is I have bananas and cranberries, and then I have granola bars. But right next to that, can't really see, is I have 3 cookie jars. Jim's a cookie eater. He's like the cookie monster. Plus, when my grandkids come, they like to have cookies. I am not the least bit tempted by a store-bought cookie. Now, if those 3 cookie jars were filled with like homemade oatmeal cookies, homemade chocolate chip cookies, or homemade peanut butter cookies, you couldn't keep me away from it. I'd have to hide that. That does not tempt me. In the living room, I have a candy basket that I got from Longenberger that's got 3 slots, and one slot's got M&M peanuts, one slot's got M&M plain, and the other one's got the Hershey assortments with peanut butter cups. I'm never tempted. I like candy. I really do like candy, but it's just not something that's tempting me. Every once in a while, if I want like a small little Hershey square, I'll get I love the dark chocolate, the specials, they're called Hershey specials. I'll just put one in my mouth and just suck on it, and it'll satisfy the urge for the moment. I don't know so much that it's willpower that I have that, but I think it's just a desire to want to reach my goal that I always think, a minute on your lips, forever on your hips type of thing. It's just, I just don't think it's worth it. But it's there if I need like a quick, like I just need some chocolate. Rather than go and buy a whole big chocolate bar, I'll just go and have one of the little, and I can eat just one. I'm amazed, but I can just eat one. I can grab maybe 5 or 6 M&M peanuts, and I'm fine with it. It's just enough to satisfy my urge. And so with that, I think I'm doing pretty good. In the cupboard, in my pantry, I always have the healthier choices up front, so that I got to move them out of the way to get to the back, because I love a graham cracker, which is not really that high in points, because I get the low fat graham crackers, but they can lead me down a path. So they're in the back, so I got to get past, like I have little packages of unsweetened applesauce and peaches and things like that I'd have to move out of the way to get to it. And it's the same in my refrigerator. When you open up my refrigerator, the first thing you see are all my vegetables and my fruits. They're right there handy to grab. And I boil up a dozen eggs on Sundays so that I have them during the week that I can snack on. Number 3 is make an active choice. Create situations where the healthier choice requires less effort. Want to read before bed instead of getting wrapped up in TV? Put the TV remote on a high shelf across the room where you'll need to actively decide to get up and grab it. That's not going to work for me. But I have a book I have a book in every room of the house that I'm reading. And so like if I'm in the living room, I'll pick up the book and I'll continue on where I left off. If I go into the TV room, which is my she shed, I have a book right there. I'll pick it up and I'll start to read it. If I'm going to go to bed and I wake up during the night and I want to read, there's a book right there. In the summer, I have a book sitting on the table here for when I want to go outside, and I have a book sitting on the table by the front door if I want to go sit out in front. So, and I don't know, I must have ADD in that. I can read all these different books and all these different stories, and I can keep track of what's going on in the book. I don't need to finish reading just one particular book. Number 4 is use temptation bundling. Couple your want to do and must do activities together. Listening to one of your favorite podcasts, something that you love, on an evening walk, something you must do, reduces how much willpower you'll need to use. I don't consider walking a chore. I love it. And I know I don't consider it exercise, although I know it is exercise. I do listen to my music on my earbuds from my iPod or my Apple phone. I have my music set up on that. And I get my walk in listening to my music. I walk with my sister every day, but I am one of these people that needs sound. I have to have background noise. I can't have perfect quiet. Even when I go to bed, I have to have a little bit of sound. I like the ticking of my clocks because that kind of like and then I have a grandfather clock that goes off every 15 minutes. I listen for that. If I'm with somebody, I have to have like a TV or something on. It's not that I'm not listening to who I'm talking to. It's just that I need the distraction of like a sound machine or something in the background. That's just who I am. Jim has picked up on that's who I am, so he kind of puts up with it. But we never, very rarely go to bed at the same time because Jim likes it perfectly quiet. But once he's asleep, he doesn't care. So I either go to bed before him, which is very, very, very rare, or I wait like an hour or two afterwards, and so I can hear different sounds that'll lull me to sleep. But anyway, that's the truth about willpower. I know finally they have a subject that I think is kind of relatable. The last couple of weeks they haven't been. I agree with Anita over at Chit Chat Paddywhack. With everything that's going on in the world with the pandemic and things like that, you think that they would try to format some of their topics about that, because so many people are struggling right now. And it's not so much about willpower, although some of it is. It's just the unknown, the uncertainty of everything that's going on. And it's just so easy to turn to food, whether you have willpower or not, to kind of soothe you, because we all have that day, like a food will bring back a memory of our childhood, or a happy time, or a good time, and so we kind of comfort ourselves with food. And if you're out there listening, Weight Watchers, come up with something that's going to help, because so many people I know have gained between 5 and 20 pounds during this pandemic, and it's not because they don't want to have their they don't want to lose weight, and it's not because they don't have willpower. It's because they're uncertain of the future. Because not that anybody can guarantee the future, but this is like a scary future for us, and they need to come up with some better topics. Now I won't get, I'll probably hear from them saying, yeah, you think you can do better, why don't you suggest a topic? And I just did. Dealing with the stress of a pandemic. There you go. Why can't they do that? I don't understand, but maybe I'll think of something and I'll talk about it during the week. Maybe I'll do a video this week talking about dealing with the stress of a pandemic. I have to do a little bit of research on it though first. The recipe is for pulled chicken nachos with avocado and lime cream. Now I have to say that this looks like something I would like, but I don't know that Jim would like it, because Jim does not like avocados and he does not like sour cream. But I could probably try to fool him. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If I do try it, I'll do a cook with me, but I don't know that Jim's going to try this. But it's got everything I like, so we'll see. But anyway, today's topic was the truth about willpower. We all have a little bit of willpower buried deep down. Sometimes we've got to look a little bit harder for it, but I know we can do it. I know we can accomplish this. And it's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but try to figure out ways that you can improve your willpower. Stop bringing stuff into your house that's going to tempt you. Stop thinking about things that are going to tempt you. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. We have a new Baskin Robbins that just opened up by us, and it's one of my favorite ice cream parlors. But I've had enough willpower since it opened that I've seen that it's open. It's been like over a week. I'm so tempted to want to go over there and just have a banana split, but I know I'm going to have a little bit more willpower, and my goal is more important than that banana split. So, but if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it, and let me know what really tests your willpower. I will tell you that a donut really tests my willpower. I still have a hard time shopping. They don't sell single donuts anymore, which was better for me because I could just buy a single donut, but now you got to buy at least 6. So that kind of keeps me from going crazy with it. But my willpower challenge would be a donut. What's yours? As always, stay safe.